Okay, fight fans from all over the Rio Grande Valley 956. We are here at Mario Davila, his um, his office for the photo shoot for Cavazos Boxing Border Wars. We are here with Texas Boxing Hall of Famer, Mr. Anthony Cavazos. Anthony, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling good. I mean, everything's going good, and we're excited about the fights coming up. The boxing fans are ready for another big fight here at the Paint Arena, and already reserved. Half the tables are on reserve already on hold on the ringside. So the fans are going to be coming out to this big show on June 28th.
Gotcha. So let's go back to last July 28th. This was your first card since the pandemic. What are your thoughts reflecting back on that card?
I took, like I said, in the pandemic, we took a 3-year break through COVID because we didn't know what was going to happen. The commission shut down boxing for a whole year, and so we took a break. And I couldn't believe the overwhelming support we have. I've been doing it since 2001, Cavazos Boxing, and I got elected to the Hall of Fame in the state of Texas, the first promoter in the Valley ever elected to the Hall of Fame in the state of Texas. And the overwhelming excitement and from the boxing fans and the table buyers and sponsors was overwhelming. So we're back and we're stronger than ever.
Gotcha, sir. This is a question I ask a lot of the promoters. Talk about the days leading up to the fight card. What was it like?
On the last show,
Mhm.
yeah, no, it was good. We got a lot of talent here in the RGV in the Rio Grande Valley, and there's a tremendous amount of talent and a lot of up and coming fighters, prospects like Fabian Diaz, Esteban Garza. And that's why I picked these two guys, the main event and co-main event, because these guys come to fight. They're undefeated, and they train hard, and they're quiet guys. We're just talking about how quiet they are.
Hmm.
But boy, when they come in the fight night, they come to fight.
That you are, sir. You have some very action-packed fighters. Not to mention the six-card fight that night. They were competitive from the beginning to the very end. And the crazy part about it, there were no knockdowns.
Well, that tells you one thing. If you know boxing, that when the fights are all competitive and evenly matched, and they all went the distance, that means they were evenly matched fights. So, I don't really like the fight card all mismatch, which a lot of promoters do. And the thing is, the fans don't get their money's worth. I'm a believer of putting on good fights for the fans. They pay good money, and in other words, to get their money's worth. You get what you pay for. So, and all the fights went the distance. All 6 fights. A couple of fights fell out. This fight, we're looking at this fight card in July 28th. I'm sorry, June 28th. We're looking at 7 or 8 fights. We have a lot of people calling me, want to get on the card, and we have a good bunch of fighters, several undefeated fighters that are going to be coming to show their boxing talents in front of the crowd on June 28th.
So just touching back again on that Friday, the Thursday before the fights. A lot of people on the outside looking at like, hey, well, hurry up, we're here. But talk about getting the fighters, getting their physicals, make sure they make weight. Just talk about that stress level.
Well, it's hard, but they get everybody like this. The last fight, a lot of guys were pro debuts, or they weren't licensed, so you got to get them all their medicals done ahead of time, and they got they had the medicals done in 3 days in advance, 72 hours in advance. The commission said, so you got to get it in before the commission, so the commission can approve the fight. So they have to have all their medical records done, physicals done, 72 hours before the fight, before the weigh-in, really. But it's sometimes it can be stressful, but we've done it for a long time, and like they say in boxing, we roll with the punches.
There you go, sir. This card you have coming up, we talked about Esteban and Fabian. They are, I mean, not to, I mean, the proof is there. They're crowd pleasers. They bring fights. They put people in the seats. Was it hard to get them back on the card again?
No, no, they're excited. They want to get back on the card. The father, Fabian Diaz's father, Rene Diaz, he actually fought for me, and we have a long history together. Uh, you know, uh, I'm a man of my word, and if I tell you you're going to fight, you're going to fight. And these guys are going to be ready. They train hard. Fabian Diaz is in shape already. He's got a fight coming up April 12th, so hopefully it's going to come out successful, which he should. And he's training hard. He looks cut. And Esteban, him and Brian Santiago. Brian Santiago is another little warrior, man. This kid, they left it all in the ring, and the fans were on their feet. It was so exciting. That's why. And I took a chance with Esteban, put him in a co-main event last year, but he deserved the co-main event spot for sure on this card coming up on June 18th at the Paint Arena.
28th.
June 28th. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah, June
got you,
28th.
sir. What was I gonna say? I say this, and I'm not saying it to be a brown noser, but the Stevan Bryan fight was way better than the Spence Crawford. It was way more competitive. That's pretty much the fight that we expected from them, but they brought it here in the Rio Grande Valley. Talk about that
Yeah,
fight.
it's sometimes these big fights they hype them up and they don't turn out to be what they with all the hype. In other words, so I'm more of a fan of the Barrera Morales kind of fights where the wars. Unfortunately, a lot of people in boxing fighters they handpick their opponents, and the thing is, you don't get a good fight come fight night. People like the kids that come from the bottom, like Esteban and Fabian, they don't have the pedigree like the Mayweather name, the De La Hoya name. They start from the bottom and they lay it all in the ring. They come to fight, and the fans are really following these guys. The fans are coming out in big numbers, and we're gonna promote the heck out of them, man. That's one thing about Cavazos boxing. These guys become real popular on my cards because we really push them hard, and we do a lot of social media, and overnight, man, these guys become real popular. But they have to come to fight, And I tell them, the way you train is the way you're going to look on fight night. And but these two guys, I was telling Esteban, Canelo Alvarez, they talk whatever. There's a lot of haters for Canelo, but he trains hard and he comes to fight on fight night.
Speaking of which, you're a promoter, but you're also a fight fan. What are your thoughts on the Canelo Benavides situation? Even though he has a fighter with Munguia May 4th.
I'm looking forward to seeing the Munguia fight. I think that's going to show a lot where Canelo's at in his career because he's getting at an age, 32, 33 years old. I think he's only got a couple fights left. I think he's asking for that money personally, the 150 to 200 million, because he just wants to probably retire, win or lose. If he lost that fight with Benavidez, which is a bigger guy, and I think he's afraid after the Bivol fight. The Bivol was bigger, if you remember.
Right,
So I
175.
think he's afraid of the height and the size, and he's talking about the weight after the weigh-in, the 25 pounds he's been talking about. And I think he's just afraid that he's going to come in too heavy after the weigh-in, and Benavidez will be too big for Canelo come fight night.
Got you, sir. What can the fight fans expect June 28th on your card?
Well, like they say, fireworks. We always put the one thing about Cavazos boxing is that we put half the card or more than half the card is competitive fights. We're looking at a couple of guys right now that 2-0 and against a guy another 2-0, which is going to be an evenly matched fights, which the fans are going to get their money's worth. Fabian Diaz, one thing about Fabian also, he's not afraid, and Esteban also, they're not afraid to fight undefeated fighters. So, when you fight undefeated against undefeated, you're going to get a good matchup. They're not going to be lopsided fights. The other promoters put lopsided fights. One guy's 6-0, the other guy's 1-6. But the thing is, we already know who's going to win the fight before it even starts. So we're going to have a good fight card, a lot of local talent, a lot of upcoming prospects, and just get ready for June 28th at the Pain Arena.
Awesome, sir. Any shout outs you want to give to anybody, Anthony, before we conclude here?
Yes, I wanted to give a big shout out to my partner at law offices, Mario Davila. He's been a great partner with the boxing, and also my good friend Martin Santos with Santos Productions. He's going to be involved also in the fights. He's promoting the fights with me. So we're going to helping me promote, sell tickets, and push the fights. And all the other sponsors, we're going to be hitting the sponsors real hard during the event. And I appreciate Albert. You're doing a great job for boxing here in the RGB. And we'll get your tickets. The tickets are going on sale April 1st. And you can get a hold of the tickets on Ticketmaster.com, the Pain Arena, or call Cavazos Boxing at 369-0742.
Appreciate it, sir. Mr. Anthony Cavazos, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you, Albert. Appreciate it.